He doesn't know where you are. He has no way of tracking you down. We knew this day would come, and I understand how difficult this is for you, but I'm asking you to trust in these new identities. You have the full protection of the police force, and there's going to be a car parked outside for the next 7 days as a precautionary measure. He's gone now. You and Lois are safe, I promise. The policewoman's words were kind but empty. Her eyes were round, full and damp with faint empathy. She used all the right words: trust, believe, safe. But she didn't understand them. She didn't know what the words meant. For her, trust was not going through her boyfriend's phone. Safe was a hug and a locked door. Safe was inside. She didn't know what it meant for a house to be a prison. She didn't know what it meant for home to be a place you fear. Her meaningless, failed platitudes were well-intentioned. She didn't know what it was like. I put on my face. The face I always had when I knew he was about to make a point. The face I had put on to make sure that I could lead into the living room before he made his point. Self-protection rule number 1. Stay away from the kitchen during an episode where there were too many easy weapons. The face had never been enough though, not for the long term, but it was maybe enough to keep this officer happy. At least for long enough to stop her showering with false assurances and leave me alone. The evening came as the officers outside kept watch. The sunset and the inky night drew in. I didn't know where any supermarkets or takeaways were yet, but a quick search online showed that Domino's delivered here. I decided to ring the order in. I needed to hear a voice that wasn't telling me empty rhetoric about safety.
So, that's an order of chicken wings, a bottle of Fanta, and a large meat feast. What kind of crust?
I almost answered without thinking. Pure reflex. Deep pan. It was always deep pan when I was with him. It had to be deep pan. If one turned up that wasn't deep panned, it was time to put on the face. What crusts are available?
Well, we have the normal deep pan and thin crust.
What's the thinnest crust you do?
That's the thin and crispy, half the thickness of a regular thin crust.
That one please, with extra dip. The pizza arrived well within the 30-minute limit. Not that it mattered. They'd cancelled a promise years ago after speeding delivery boys caused too many accidents on the roads. And without him around, there wouldn't have to be any accidents in the living room from the pizza arriving late either. So myself and my daughter Katie sat down to our first meal in our new house, under our new identities. I put Lois to bed and tried to sleep. Not a chance. You spend enough nights in bed not daring to fall asleep before he returns, and you get an ear for the little things. Listening to keys rattling in locks, you can tell the difference between a sober fumble and a drunken struggle. Are the heavy plodding footsteps from beer or from tiredness? The yank on the refrigerator door, was that pulled open in frustration or simple hunger? As I said, you get an ear from the little sounds. It's not something that goes away. I rolled over to check the clock, feeling the now familiar twinge of pain run through my shoulder where it never really healed properly. It was 1:30 a.m. We were getting close to leaving the danger zone. If he was home before 11, he would be sober enough to handle. After 2 a.m., wherever he was, he would be too drunk to get home, and was probably crashed on a couch somewhere. Between 11 and 2 a.m., that was the danger zone. That was the past. I chastised myself for still being locked in this destructive paranoia. New names, a new home, a new city. All new. All new and fresh and clean and not broken. But still, I listened. Down the hall. I heard Lois. She'd been snoring incontinent an hour ago, but now she sounded awake. Was she talking to someone? It sounded like a gentle murmurs, but I could only hear her voice. Then I heard it. I was sure of it. A second voice. Not Katie's. No, not her. Separate. Different. Deeper. Male. I bolted out of the bed, pain rippling through my shoulder. I careened down the short hallway to a bedroom, cursing myself. Shit, fuck, he found us, he got here. No, it can't be. How? When? Katie wouldn't know. Help, please. Stupid. Katie, safe. How? Fuck. I practically shattered the door. There was no one, nothing. It was just Katie, sitting on the floor, cross-legged in her little Pikachu pyjamas. She was staring back over the shoulder as though I interrupted a very important conversation. My heart was still racing as I tried to make sense of the scene. Who? Katie? Were you talking to someone? I bellowed. Katie flinched at my tone. Yeah, Mr. Face Eyes. He lives here too. Who? What? Who's Mr. Face Eyes? Friendbed Face Eyes. But his friends call him Mr. Face Eyes. He lives under the bed and keeps Mr. Angry Face away. I paused for mere seconds before crushing relief broke my composure. I fell to my knees and threw my arms around her. It's so easy to forget how much details kids soak up. Rule number 2. Don't involve the kids. Don't fight in front of them. Don't let them defend you. But no matter how much you try to hide it, they know. They don't understand, but they know. You clean the floor and wipe away the mess and the blood, and you think you've uncovered the bruises, but they know. I couldn't let her go. My eyes were wet, and my shoulder ached with a hug, but it just kept on. I couldn't slip. I had to be strong. It was just me and her now. I couldn't drive myself crazy like this. I couldn't spend my nights imagining voices in my house. I didn't know what Katie had seen or heard, and I don't know if she really understood why Daddy can't see us anymore. I just hope she'll cope. Maybe that's what Mr. Face Eyes is. An imaginary friend she can work all this out through. I thought it was best to leave her be. She'd sleep when she needed it. At the door, I turned back one last time. Katie had turned around again. Now she was staring back under the bed. Silent. Good night, Mr. Face Eyes, I whispered, just loud enough for Katie to hear. And just for a second, I could have sworn I heard someone say, "Good night!"